I'm Brandon Davis with Swan Energy with Jodan Trigg. Jodan, how long have you and your family been in the oil business?
Well, I remember when I was, I think, 6 or 7 years old, riding out to a drilling rig that my father operated, been in the back seat, and that was almost 70-some years ago. So I've been associated with the oil business almost all my life. I was in the service 2 years, so I lost out a little bit. But we had a company called Trigg Drilling Company that my father started back in 1919, and carried on from that. We operated in Oklahoma, Kansas, and Texas a little bit. Started in Burkburnett, Texas, in the boom of one of the famous oil fields, and went through Oklahoma, Kansas, depending on where we could find work. At that time, it was pretty tough times. Oil was selling for about 20 cents a barrel, 30 cents a barrel, something like that.
Boy, have things changed there.
Yeah. And then I got out of the service, and then my father, I had a brother that was 5 years older, and we had an office in Denver that he ran the Denver office, and I ran the Oklahoma City office. And my father passed away in 1969, so I took over running the company of the Oklahoma division. Operated about over 150, 200 wells. Had interest in about I'd say around 500 wells. And then 1995, we sold our production, sold our rigs, and kind of downsized. Started a company called JMD, which was a family company, and now we have a geologist. He's also a seismologist, and have a lawyer on staff, and have a landlady on staff, and a secretary. So our primary interest is finding prospects, creating prospects, and selling to the industry. It's kind of funny, back in 1950s, 40s, late 40s, early 50s, we were drilling down in Garvin County, Oklahoma, and McLean County. And then as the market in western Oklahoma kind of caught fire, it was the kind of Anadarko Basin. Mm-hmm. We moved our rigs out to the Anadarko Basin and started drilling anywhere from 12 to 20,000 foot wells.
I was born at the end of that.
Is that right?
At the very end of that, 1978. Yeah. So I missed all that.
It was pretty good times then. And then when lately the gas market prices decreased, the oil market's gotten better. So we moved back to where we had done work back in the 40s and 50s. And
that's what we're doing with you now.
That's what you're doing with me now. And it's kind of funny, we look back, I was in college actually, or high school probably. Wells my father had drilled or been the contractor on, so it's kind of interesting. And
I've heard John tell me those stories. You guys are looking things up and you see Trigg rigs, Trigg operating company on them. It's amazing to me.
But what we're finding out now is a lot of wells were drilled, maybe not in the right spot in the 40s.
Right.
And they didn't have the technology they have now, so we're kind of picking and choosing certain locations to drill. And really, I don't know, our position really is that, and it's been a good position the last 2 years since we've met the people in your organization, because we can create prospects and don't have to go out and find industry people. We can create a prospect, and if Swan likes it, some they do, some they don't, then we've got a natural partner, and we take around somewhere around 10 to 30% of the prospect. So that's a good deal for our exploration program. We don't have to go out and find people to do it. So.
It's a good deal for our investors too.
Yeah, it's a
because
good
they
deal
know
for investors.
you guys are the ones putting all the work and time and energy into it, and you're still putting your own money in it every
Right.
time we drill a well.
Yeah, sometimes we want a little more than what you want, more than what we want to give up. But
It does happen.
It sure makes it easier because we can spend all our time creating prospects.
Doing what you're best at.
Doing what we're best at instead of trying to go out and find the market. So it's worked real well. And I think the way the path you're on, you're getting more and more people working for you, more capable of doing that end of the job that for your investors.
Right, and it lets us focus on what we're best at. I mean,
Right,
we're
right.
really good at raising funds and having relationships with investors. You guys are good at putting prospects. It's a match made in heaven as far as I'm concerned. It works real well for both of us, I think.
And we're really not as much interested in promoting a prospect as we are participating in the prospect that we create, because our main objective is finding oil and gas. So it's worked real well the last 2 years.
I'm pleased with what we found out there over the last few years. Very pleased. What makes a good oil investment? What do you guys look for when you're out prospecting and doing your geological work?
Well, we try to find a certain area to work, have the right personnel to help us, and try to create more than just one prospect. I've always found if you're working in a good area, you only have to drill about one good well out of 10. And if we're in an area where that works, you don't have to be that successful. If you are successful of finding 3 or 4 or 5, then it's really what we're looking for.
Well, I don't think we've drilled one that you guys picked that's missed yet completely.
That's right. That's right.
We have some lower producing wells. We have some decent producing wells, and we've got to be close to hitting a big one.
Yeah, we're in an area where a well's a quarter of a mile away that's made 200, 300, 400,000 barrels. And you have a certain objective, the Oil Creek Formation and the Wilcox Formation, bromide.
McClish and all that.
And then you have your McClish and Tulip Creek. And then you have a lot of bailout zones above that. But your main objective is finding a second bromide or a Oil Creek test.
What I like about drilling in McLean County is that we have the backups. So we could go out there and miss our main targets, still make enough money to make a profit, make decent money.
Right. With oil being $100 a barrel, it makes it real easy.
It's not that hard to do.
No,
no. And then if we happen to hit that deep stuff that's big, it could really make some money. And that's that's what I love about McLean County is you have a comfort in knowing that you have 7 or 8 different zones you're going to drill through. It only takes a couple of them to at least get a money back and a little profit, but you have that potential to hit big wells, and that gets me excited every time I talking about it.
Yeah, as I said, when I first got started, it was in Garvin County, right to south of McLean County. Boy, it was fun. They took a drill stem test. I never will forget it. I was roughnecking on the rig and seeing a flowing well and seeing that oil come to the surface.
What color is it out there?
It's straw color. They call it straw.
Is that what they call it, the golden trend?
Golden trend. That's where it got its name.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's really funny to go back to an area you left, and then now you're back in it. But a lot of things have changed. The problem we get into is putting the prospects together.
Time consuming?
Time consuming.
Expensive.
Expensive, because they're in an area where ancestors and they've gone through different.
They've been drilling out there for 70 years.
Yeah, so you're dealing with a lot of different people now because the original owners have passed away.
Right.
So you're dealing with it. But we have a lawyer on staff that's really helped us. She just came aboard about 2 months ago, and she's really helping us on that end of it, and helping you all too.
It's speeding things along.
Speeding things along.
Absolutely is.
And we have a lot. I think we have about 6 or 8 prospects that we want to show you all and see what you think about them, and hope you like them, and hope we can drill them.
Well, I don't think you've shown us many we didn't like, so I look forward to that.
Well, I hope that's true.
Thank you for taking
Well,
the
I
time.
enjoyed it, Brandon.
I did too.
It's been nice.
Appreciate you coming out with us, too.
Good.
That was great.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. We've been talking with Joe Dan Trigg.